Howie and Beastmode podcast, where we discuss all things business, including growth, strategy, and execution, as well as personal and professional development. Let's join Howie and Beastmode in conversation.
Well, hey, Beastmode, how's it going today?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's another wonderful day that we're going to get to connect. It's a short one today, but we're going to try to get right after it.
Yep. So this is Building During Difficulty, part 2 or week 2. And it's kind of a real short one, like you said. Unfortunately, just with our time, this is kind of like our side hustle. But the title is Where to Start. So the first thing that we kind of thought we talked to you guys about is, where to start when you're building during difficulty. First of all, it's a good idea to build during difficulty because if not, you can be paralyzed by the situation. I am currently unemployed. It's a very hard time to get a VP of sales role during COVID. It's kind of a higher level title, and that's what I do. And so I'm having to be super patient and try to build during difficulty. Even in my case, Beastmode has a small business. It's a pretty young business. He's got paying customers, but it's a pretty young business. So he's having to be really thoughtful and very strategic also about how to build and all that. So we thought we'd just kind of share a few ideas going back and forth about choosing what to build. So Beastmode, what do you want to inspire the folks with initially?
Yeah, so our first point is what are you good at? So when you're looking at where to build or what to build, you should start off with something. You don't want to go build a new habit or a new characteristic or new trait. It's what am I currently doing that I enjoy, that is productive of my time, that is also something that has the ability to produce fruit, and start there.
Yep, that's good. So what are you good at? What are you good at could be something like it's your personal core, best, what you're most known for. It could be something that's a strength for your business or a personal strength. And really doubling down on that is really a good idea instead of, learning something brand new. It's okay to learn something brand new. I mean, for example, reading and those kinds of things are great. But yeah, when you're building during difficulty, choosing where to start, it's a good idea to kind of go back to first principles. Revisiting your clients, trying to add services would be a really good idea during a building during difficulty time, or going to maybe a similar type of customer. Let's say you have the number 10 plumber in Dallas. What if you went to the number 20 or the number 5 plumber, the similar, kind of similar size plumbers, and you just tell the story about what it is that you're good at and how you already work with one of the top 10 plumbers in Dallas in this particular service, and you'd love to share more with them about how that's been able to make a difference. So understanding what you're good at can be a vertical perspective, like, hey, I am awesome at helping lawyers. Choosing what to build, what you're known for, what is referenceable, and kind of expanding out from that nucleus, that core, is always a good idea.
Yeah, and I'll give you a quick example. Is for JL, what we like to focus on is branding, purpose, mission, vision, back-end business development. But what is really thriving at the moment is social media engagement. And so that is what we happen to be good at and people want to pay for. So we're engaging people that way. But the next point is, what are you known for? And so I know that was your point, so I'll let you jump into it first.
Yeah, what are you known for? It could be a very core element of your business. So for example, with JL, which is Beastmode's business, they're becoming known for the social media side. It's not what he envisioned when he first started. He was much more interested in the branding. But what he's found out is that, and I'm just going to use you as an example because you're so, just because I know a little bit about it, and you're so present with what's happening right now. People need a way to build their business. They need to build leads. and they need to build opportunity. And so with JL initially was thought of as a branding company, but the market tells you what you are more than you know what you are. It's really a weird thing. We have to be a little bit sensitive to what the market's saying, and the market votes with dollars. And what the market is paying you for right now is social media. And so what you can do is to chase your dream as a secondary motion, and that can be like an upsell, like the full branding package can be like a little bit down the road. But what people are really hungry for, because they know they suck at it, is social media. And a lot of people would admit they do suck at that. And so I think, yeah, knowing, what you're known for, it's not the worst thing to kind of double down on that during difficulty.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's that fine line of this is who I am, this is who we're going to be, and we're going to walk this line until there's no longer a line. And then there's that, hey, people are willing to pay for this service, and this is your open door into the next thing. So some of it is, in my case with JL, some of it is just the humility and pride, just letting it go that this is what people want to engage with first, even though in my mind, it's not the highest value, but that's okay. And so again, you just go with, hey, we're going to start building here, and then we can build on the backside later. Point 3 is what can you afford? And there's so many cost saving measures. I know we've talked about it many times. There's so many things that are out there. And Howie, you're much more on the technical office things than I am, and I'm sure you'll speak on that here in a minute, but it's what can you do with what you have, and don't overstretch yourself. It's already building time. Now you do need to have value in what you are going to spend. And so there should be a sifting process, because you can't spend $15, 100 different ways,
No, it's really true. So when you're looking at choosing what to build during this time, we're talking about where to start. What you can afford is a really big, big concept. There are things, there's usually free versions of things. So whether, and you're going to have a CRM. You're going to have a data source. We talked about HubSpot recently. It's got a free version that Beastmode and I are both using it. We're in different stages of using it. He's still working on some of the setup stuff. I'm a little bit farther ahead, but I've also had it for 6 weeks or something as well. But we're pretty encouraged about that so far. Microsoft Office 365 does a really good job for a little bit every month it'll do your email, it'll do your calendar, it'll do your Word, your Excel, all that kind of stuff. G Suite by Google does a good job as well. It's not quite as rich as Microsoft Office in terms of B2B, in a variety of different reasons, but it's okay as well. And then another one that Beastman and I were talking about later or earlier today, for you to build your business during difficulty, you're going to need a data source. And I have experimented a little bit with seamless.ai, and there appears to be a free level of that where it'll give you some contact names. This Saturday, I was trying to reach out to a chief sales officer for a company that I'm trying to get their attention for a job for me. And they were able to provide seamless. I was able to look that person up, and I was able to get their email address. And in a lot of cases, they have phone numbers too. And by the way, that integrates with HubSpot. So that's actually a nice thing as well, is to have as much as possible to have all your tools to integrate. But what you can afford is a really key question. And we talked many podcasts ago about how I had done a little experimental thing. For $200, I experimented with a little side business to see what the market would say about it. And I was able to, for a little less than $200 on setting up a domain name and a little website with GoDaddy, and also including like close to 7,000 impressions on Facebook. I think it was like 6,500 maybe. I was able to get some interesting market feedback on my idea. I was able to not pursue the idea because I didn't get any, I got like one lead out of it and it didn't convert. So I kind of moved away from that. But Facebook advertising is a really neat way of you getting in front of business owners or even B2C consumers. for not a lot of money. So you can experiment with messaging, which I was able to do. And again, I'm a novice. Now, Beastmode does that for a living. And so he can certainly help you, and he has different cost levels as well. This isn't a pitch, but I do recommend that you guys check him out if social or branding are something that you wanted to be able to take a look at improving and to generate more leads in an affordable way. But yeah, so I think, those are a few ideas for tools, Beastmode. And if they want to hit us up, we can give them some more ideas.
Yeah, and it's going to lead us into one of our final points. Our final point that we want to touch base on before we have our final point is, where's the low-hanging fruit? Honestly, it's where's the problem that you already notice. You don't need to go create a new problem. You don't have to find a new solution. Sometimes there's a problem in business that you're already dealing with. Maybe you dealt with it at your last job. Maybe you're dealing with it at your current job. While you're waiting for a promotion, you're waiting for this. Hey, just start fixing the problem that's already existing. No reason to go look for something else.
I love it that your instincts took you right to finding a business problem. So Beastmode has really good, that's a big compliment to you, the way you just handled that. So the question that him and I had planned to talk about was, where's the low-hanging fruit, right? So people in business development or in sales or in marketing would say, well, where's the lowest hanging fruit for leads? And what he did in his answers, he actually interpreted that for you and said, the answer is finding a problem. But then he made it even easier for you, and he said, find a problem that you already know about versus some having to really dream something up or experiment with something that may not work. So I don't have a thing to add to that because I thought it was a very complete answer.
And the final thing, as you mentioned, is ask for help. And the easiest way to ask for help from two guys who are talking about it is to engage us. So you can ask for help on any of our social medias. You can actually ask for help on YouTube and Spotify and all those different aspects that we're already on. But then also you can ask for help from many different ways. On LinkedIn, you can just ask an open-ended question, let your network just speak right into it. Sometimes you're going to have to filter the results of what you get, but it is what it is. So
absolutely. Ask for help. LinkedIn is a great one, by the way. That's a good idea. But asking for help, whether it be for resources, referrals, asking for favors and advice. For example, one of the things that, I talked to a business owner about recently was, having a small campaign to ask for referrals. So where are customers who've been with us for a little while, who have been spending, so not a trial customer, but where is a spending customer that we could go intentionally just call them and physically ask them, like, hey, do you have a couple of people you'd be comfortable maybe referring me to that might need, what we do, and asking and being intentional about that. Some people really do a great job of intentionally asking for referrals. So I think asking for referrals and favors and advice, asking for resources. There's actually a famous, this refers to prayer, but it certainly has a great tie-in for business. In the Bible, it says, you have not because you ask not. And that's a really good point. Sometimes we just need to ask, and for some reason we don't. But that's part of whether you're in sales or marketing or social or branding or in IT or wherever you're at, just being willing to ask is a really, really big idea. So I think we probably, any final comments on that?
No, you did great.
Okay. Well, guys, definitely glad to touch base with you on this topic of building during difficulty, where to start, and hopefully that'll inspire you guys with, again, our goal is usually to have 2 things talk to you guys per podcast. If you get more out of it, then that's great, but hopefully 2 things kind of stood out to you, reminded you of something you already know maybe. But Beastmode, where can they find us?
Yes, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Audible, Google Podcast, and then on any of the social medias, we're both active and present. So the next step is to engage in a conversation to further this connection. We have seen an increased engagement of people reaching out and touching base, and we're grateful for that. And we just look forward to that opportunity to continue to speak into your guys' lives. So thank you again, and we'll be back next week.
Cool.